Okay, here is part 2. The workbench is pretty much completed. The only thing I don't have on it right now that I want is on the sides, which I'll swing around and show you in just a moment. I bought some 1x8 material to make an edge on each side of the work platform there, the main part of the workbench. Sorry about the focus. My camera's going to give me a hard time because of the exposure. As you can see, it's finished. The background, you see, the back sides of these areas. Move in and try to get out of the light glare. Oh, it's not going to let me do it. Anyway, the back side here is spare T111 siding from my house, which was painted barn red. You can see I've got the top shelf on now. Right there, the outlets are all in, the lights are all in, and here underneath are the switches. The top switch turns off the light and the top receptacles up there. You can see that a little better now without the lights on. The bottom switch turns off these bottom two receptacles over here. Now the GFI outlet is set up to, this GFI outlet here is set up to stay on all the time. So as you can see, I've got a shelf at the bottom for workspace. Here are the sides I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, I got a piece of 1x8 just outside of camera reach here. So I will be putting a 1x8 that goes all the way from front to back, just like this, at that height, and painting it so it'll put a little lip, as you can see, around the edge of the whole work platform. It'll come all the way back here to the back edge on both sides and be painted to match. Again, this is Purple Dragon is the color. I also found at Home Depot these really cool, they call them felt blankets. There's felt pads, there's 3 on the top rail and 3 on the bottom rail. So that way when this is put up against the wall, it won't scratch the wall. The power cord is about 6 feet long. Goes to a right angle plug to make it a little neater when it plugs into the wall receptacles. And it's pretty much ready to roll now. Like I say, I'm going to turn the light back on here with one closer to the bench. The lighting is actually very even. I'll see if I can do this without it washing out, but the lighting is LED bar fixtures. 2 of them mounted up under here. They're actually dual intensity. I can turn them down. If I can find the switch on them. There you go. I can turn them both down to a lower intensity. And that's a little better on the video as well. So there's the low intensity setting, which is actually pretty bright. Still, I would say it'd probably be bright enough to work on something, but the bright setting works even better. So it's basically a finished project now. Total material cost, including all the electrical minus the lights. The light fixture, those lights I showed you were GE LED strips that were on clearance, and I don't remember what I paid for them. But all of the lumber you see, minus the scrap T111, and the outlets, the cord, and so on and so forth. The material cost on this bench is just a shade over $120 total. And again, the dimensions of the bench, it is 2 feet deep from back to front, 4 feet long. This top shelf stands at exactly 5 foot high. The shelving material was also purchased at Home Depot. I got these in, I believe they were 8 foot lengths or 10 foot lengths. Got a nice little finished edge on them there. But yeah, that's the completed workbench. Try to give you an all-around view here. Go around the back side. Like I said, you can see the T111. This board you see right here was just there for mounting the lights. This board right here. Just made it easier to mount the lights on that board first and then mount them to the workbench rather than try to wrestle with them inside the coat. But by putting the lights inside and on the back like I did, it pretty much, as you can see, I'm going to put my hand in the picture here, in my arm. You can see it pretty well makes the lighting even all the way up to the edge of the table. The lighting's fairly consistent. So it should be really nice for working on electronic projects. Like I say, we got the Spartan radio that is going to probably be first up on the bench. Now, not shown and not installed yet, but it happens to be handy. There will be this little guy. Basically, that's a 12-volt cigarette receptacle. Comes complete with a fuse on the back. I think that's 15 amps. Yeah, that's 15 amp fuse on the back. This is going to be mounted over here on the underhang. Basically what that'll do is, and there will be, I have a built-in 12 volt power supply. It's kind of hard to explain, but when I wired this house, I have a dedicated 12 volt power supply in my utility room, a switch mode power supply. It puts out 8 amps. And I've run 12 volt drops everywhere in the bedroom. Actually, I'll go to this bookshelf. You see that plate, empty plate with the hole in it? That's for LED lighting. And there's wire running inside each of the little cubbies there for LED strips to be mounted. And that plate will let me mount either just a regular old toggle on-off switch or actually a low LED dimmer, so I can dim those LEDs. And not visible behind all the junk, but behind that pile of junk on that little end table is a Neutrix Speak-On connector. Look that one up on the internet. And it's set there on purpose to provide a 12 volt receptacle for the workbench. Although I really should have put it on this wall where the Spartan is sitting, because that's where the workbench is going to go after I move all of this garbage out of the way. The workbench is going to go right here on this wall. I don't know how well the camera's rendering the colors. It looks like it's mediocre at best. But this wall is a shade of gray called Thin Ice. The contrasting wall in the bedroom there is the purple dragon, the same color the bench is painted. So the color for the bench was chosen because it contrasts with the wall that's going to live on. There's a receptacle right there above the shoes for it to mount to. And that's about it. So I probably won't do a follow-up video when I actually mount the sides on, because there's really going to be nothing special to see. Everybody say hi to Turbo. There's Turbo the Moto cat. Turbo, good boy. Look at the camera. Meow. Turbo has been kind of ticked off at me during this whole workbench project because he hates disruption and change, and so he's not too happy about it. Once it's set up in its place and all the junk's cleared out, I'm sure once he realizes it makes a nice place to lay down and relax, he'll be using it all the time. So anyway, so this backboard, the other thing I'll probably do, I don't know if I'm going to put a piece of pegboard or some sort of strip up here from side to side to hang tools on, or if I'm just going to put hangers directly on to that backdrop. I'll probably do the thing where I put a board across just to make it a little nicer so I don't ruin the backdrop. And again, we got the shelf underneath. We got the kick rail. You remember here I mentioned I was going to move the kick rail down, and I did. You can see the hole where it used to be, right in line with the shelf support. Cat wants to get into the picture again. Hi, buddy. So anyway, so that's the completed workbench project. Hope you all enjoyed it. Once again, I left the radio on in the background for you, for my friends who like to listen to the AM radio kind of thing. I left that on for you. Now the one test I haven't done yet is I haven't brought the radio over to the workbench to see how badly the LED lights are going to swamp out the AM reception. They'll probably wipe it out pretty good. The other thing that's going to happen is there's going to be a camera mount. I'm going to try, I can't really see it from where I'm at, but I'm going to have a camera mount about like so. Here's my hand on the workbench. I'm going to set up some sort of camera mount so I can do hands-free filming of demonstrations, test project repairs, and so on and so forth. Make life a lot easier. Give a shout out to Big Clive in the Isle of Man and bigclivedotcom for his outstanding videos. You need to check his channel out. It is Big Clive. And you will find all kinds of really cool videos. Some of them quite humorous, some of them a little bit naughty, but virtually always educational, even when he's doing funny stuff. So remember, that YouTube channel is Big Clive. And one of my first videos on the new workbench, I have a Big Clive-esque teardown of a engine block heater that I'm going to do. That's going to be my very first video on the new workbench with the new camera setup as well. Anyway, this is getting to be about 10 minutes long, so hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I didn't bore you all too much, and we'll update with some more radio and other videos as soon as I get some time.